Hello Year 9, Mrs Nunnally here again. Welcome to English Bites 2, Gothic Horror. Just a little reminder that we are looking at Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Telltale Heart. Now, last lesson we looked at the terms juxtaposition and irony. Today we are going to understand how writers use personification for effect. Now, if you don't know what personification is, you're in the right place because this is where we're going to learn about it today. So we're going to just start by continuing our reading of the story, and just a quick reminder as to what happened in the story last lesson. The narrator told us quite a few times, repeated it, that he's not mad. But we decided that he probably is mad because he decided that the old man that lives in his building, he loves him. He thinks he's a lovely old man, and he doesn't want to steal his gold or anything like that. But he really dislikes something about this old man. Can you remember what it is that he dislikes? Yes, it's the eye. It's the eye. He dislikes the old man's eye. Now, what does he describe this eye like? What does he say? Which creature has an eye like the old man's eye? Yes, a vulture. It's blue, it's got a film over it, and we guessed that the old man is blind in one eye. So what does the narrator decide he's going to do because he dislikes this eye so much? That's right, he decides he's going to kill the old man. And every single night for a week, he crept into his room. He opened the door very slightly, stuck his head in the old man's room, and he opened up the light just a tiny bit, so a tiny ray of light came out, and he shone this ray of light directly on the blind eye of the old man, so he can't see the light, but he is just looking at that eye at midnight every night. Remember, he's not mad. He told us he's not mad. We kind of got to that point actually, didn't we? And now I think we're ready to find out what happens next. Every night I found the eye closed, which made it impossible to complete the work. It was not the old man who stopped me, but his evil eye. And every morning, as the sun came up, I went happily into my room, calling him by name, a friendly voice, and asking how he had slept. There is no way he could have known that every night, just at 12, I looked in upon him while he was sleeping. Ooh, scary. Okay, so what does the narrator do every night? Can you find it on here? Did you find it down there? There is no way he could have known that every night, just at 12, I looked in upon him while he was sleeping. So at midnight, at 12 o'clock every night, he looked in his room and waited for that eye to open. Okay? How does he treat the old man during the day? How does he treat him? So how does he behave towards him? Okay, let's have a look on here. How does he treat the old man during the day? Here we go, just here. I went happily into the room, calling him by name in a friendly voice and asking how he slept. Why is he so friendly to him? Well, he doesn't want him to know what he's thinking and what he's planning to kill him. He doesn't want him to know, so he's being really friendly to him, speaking in a friendly voice, asking how he slept. Clever. Okay, at this point, I would like you to make a prediction. So a prediction is when you guess what is going to happen next. So, what do you think happens to the old man and the narrator? Write it down. Pause the video and write down what you think happens next. Go. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and you wrote down what you think happens next. Let's see if you were right. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually careful in opening the door. The minute hand of a watch moves more quickly than mine did. Never before that night had I felt a great power of my mind. It was hard to control my excitement. Okay, let's just pause there for a moment. Okay, so here's the sort of lantern that he would have used, and it has a small light in it. Normally, oil is used to light these, and he would have had it covered up, and then he would reveal just a tiny bit, and he removes a little bit of the cover, and a tiny bit of light would come out. And on this 8th night, he was more careful, and he makes a comparison. He compares his hand opening the door to the hand of a clock. And the second's hand moves quickly, but the hand that is the minute hand moves really slowly. And he's comparing his hand to the minute hand from a clock. And he says that his hand moved more slowly, when he actually says that the minute hand of a clock moves more quickly than his hand moved. So it's just a nice comparison to show how slowly he opened that door. So he did not want to make a noise, and he didn't want to wake the old man up. He doesn't want to kill him while he's awake. He wants to kill him while he's asleep, because then it's easier to kill him, isn't it? And he says he felt very powerful that night, and he's very excited because he's planning this big thing. Remember your prediction, what you guessed was going to happen. Let's see if it does. As I began to open the lantern, there's the lantern, my thumb made a small noise on the metal. The old man quickly sat up in bed. "Who's there?" he cried out. I kept very still and said nothing. For a whole hour I did not move a muscle. I did not hear him lie down, and knew that he was still sitting up in bed listening. Just as I have done night after night, listening to insects moving about in the walls. So this time, his finger made a bit of a noise, and the old man heard, and he woke up, sat up and said, "Who's there?" Now remember, the room is very dark, it's black, and he can only see out of one eye, so he can't see a thing. So what does the narrator do? He stands like a statue and he doesn't move. For how long? An hour. And he knows that the old man is still sitting there listening. Okay, so we've gone through this already, and now I want you to think it out yourself. So here's the quote. The minute hand of a watch moves more quickly than mine did. What does he mean about how he is moving here? I would like you to stop the video and write your answer to that question. Okay, once you have done that, I want you to have a look at the second question. What do we learn about the narrator here? Use the words and phrases below to help you put a sentence together. Okay, so the fact that he's talking here about the hand on a watch moves more quickly than his hand moved to open the door does tell us something about the narrator. What kind of person is he? What does he think about himself? Well, I think he thinks he's really clever. I'm brilliant. I move so slowly. Do you think he's enjoying it? I think he is. I think he's enjoying it. And he says he felt powerful. So he's enjoying the power. Okay. So what do we learn about the narrator here? I'd like you to put together a sentence using these words. Okay. We've got the word power. We've got the word patience. We've got getting a kick out of, enjoying something. Enjoying something that you shouldn't be enjoying is getting a kick out of something. Obsessed. Is he obsessed about this? Is this something that he can't forget? Is it something that he thinks about all the time? Is it an obsession? Okay, I want you to think about those things. If you're not sure what these mean, look them up, look the words up. And I'd like you to put together a sentence that tells us what we learn about the narrator. Okay? Now, I want you to try and picture this scene in your head, because I think this is a really interesting moment in the story. What is the narrator doing or trying to do? Okay, so here's the narrator in the dark holding his lantern. Okay, at the moment he's got no light coming out of it, but he wants a tiny bit of light to come out, but he hasn't done that yet. And that's what he wants to do. Now, can you picture in your head the scene as we've just left it? So the old man is in bed, he hears the noise, and he sits up. And the narrator is standing there, doing nothing. Can you picture that in your head? Okay, good. After a long wait, I heard a soft cry. It was not the cry of someone who is badly hurt or experiencing great sadness. It was the soft, low sound one makes when they are frightened that they don't know what to do. He knew that death was near. It was hiding in the darkness all around him, and it was the fear of death that caused him to feel, for he could not see or hear, that there was someone looking in through the opening of the door. Okay. He's enjoying the fact that this old man is very upset right now. He starts to cry. Why is he crying? He's scared. He's so frightened he doesn't know what to do. It's because he's lying in a dark room and he can sense, he can feel that someone is in the room. He can't see them, he can't hear them, but he just knows something is in the room, someone's in the room, and he's scared. Now the narrator tells us he knew that death was near. It was hiding in the darkness all around him. Okay, this brings us to term alert again. Now remember, you need a piece of paper and you need to write this down. Look at this quotation. He knew that death was near. It was hiding in the darkness all around him. This is an example of personification. And again, we've got the word person here to start with. So we know personification is to do with a person, okay? Now, it's a technique that writers use as a way to describe things. And it describes when something that is not human behaves in a human way. Okay, so a plastic bag that the wind has blown outside, you could describe the plastic bag dancing around in the wind. That's personification, because a plastic bag is not a human, it cannot dance. Well, in this sentence, death is behaving like a human because it's hiding in the darkness all around him. So death has been given personification, given the idea of being human, and death, the image in our mind, what we can picture in our mind is that death is a sort of black figure that is hiding in the darkness behind the furniture, waiting to come out. Okay, this is the image, the picture we have in our head. Now, if death behaves like a human, what effect does this create? Why does the writer do this? Why is this a good thing for a writer to do? Well, death is hiding. Why is death hiding? It's hiding and it's waiting. What's it waiting for? Waiting to get the old man. So death becomes active. It's not just sitting back, waiting for someone to have an accident and die. No, death is hiding and waiting to come and get you. And this makes death very, very scary. Okay, so what I would like you to do is to write a sentence about why death becomes more scary when it behaves like a human, like a person. Okay, why? Why is death more scary when it's hiding like a person? Why has the writer done this? And I shall leave that with you, and that brings us to the end of English Bites 2. And I would like you to join me next time for English Bites 3, where we will read more of the story. See you next time. Bye.